Well, I was going to do a live stream today, but everything is going cuckoo. Man, this is baloney. Baloney. I don't know what the heck is going on here. Connection is way over the place. I'm sure many of you are having a hard time viewing this. Yeah, this is crazy. Crazy. And I was going to paint today. Do a little bit of painting. Can't even do that. Can't even. Boo earns. Boo earns. Yeah, I know. No, because my connection is going crazy. I can see like everything is going crazy on my end. Why? I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, the audio is fine. Yeah, probably. I mean, that's minimal compared to the video, but yeah. I'm going to stop the stream and then I'm going to start it again. I'm going to see what happens. That's really weird. Now it's normal. Yeah, I couldn't tell you what was wrong. Now everything looks like it's fine. I don't. Okay, so we're gonna carry on as normal, as planned. So, yeah, until everything poops out on me again. So, welcome to a different way of the brush. Way of the brush, way back in the day, I used to have a portion of the show where I would demonstrate various things, answer questions, and all that kind of stuff. The show used to be very painting related. Nowadays, it's all over the place, which is fine. But today, because I just have been so motivated to try and get these models done, mind you, I haven't gotten them done, but the Leagues of Votann. We're all talking Leagues of Votann, and these little fellers, I just totally dig. Now, initially, when I got word that these would be showing up on my doorstep, I mentioned I'm going to paint them this scheme. But apparently everybody else got that memo as well, because everybody fucking painted them orange as well. So it's actually kind of hilarious. It's hilarious. Like, hilarious. So, yeah. But I'm going to continue my work. I'm still painting these up as the Trans-Hyperion Alliance. And, yeah. I'm just going to continue work. You can see I've already painted up his little mug, his little face. I'll probably post a close-up of his mug later on. And, yeah. Believe it or not, he is highlighted and shaded and stuff like that. It's just, well, I can probably describe the process I went through. Like, obviously, assemble up, right? And I fully assembled these as these are going to be more or less painted to tabletop. And they're going to be, obviously just, for gaming. So that is the plan with these little fellers. But I also, got like a lot of the foot troops ready. And you can see here, like, the camera is actually quite bright on them. They're probably not really that intense in orange. It's an intense orange. But anyway, all I did was I used Citadel, the new Citadel white spray. And then I airbrushed on Magma Droth Flame. Very, very vibrant orange. Very, very vibrant. Like, it's really vibrant. I mean, you can see on the lower portions of the model, you can see it's about that same level. Airbrush that onto all of the models. Well, the 20 warriors and the Heinir champion. Anyway. And then, of course, what did I do? Oh, and then I thinned out Fire Dragon Bright. Thinned that out. I think I had it actually mixed in with a little bit of Magna Droth Flame. Did a bit of a Zenithal highlight in that regards. And then a quick dry brush of Kindle Flame using the Citadel Dry. Just a very, very fast dry brush just to catch just the edges. And then... yeah, you can see, this was a better example here. You can see like the dry brushing and everything like that. And then after, on this guy, I did the dry brushing. I took the new Fugan Orange, thinned it down, and applied that over the entirety of the orange. Just on him, though. So it married all that dry brushing together, and it, smoothed it out a bit. You can see like how he's like really intense from the top as opposed to underneath. You can see how it's really quite a bit darker. I don't know if I really want to recess shade and really push that contrast. I actually like the level of brightness, and I think it's kind of fun with the other elements, the metallic elements. How it has that nice stark contrast between them. I was thinking of doing some chipped armor on them, so we might get to that. But yeah. Right now I'm in the process of working on the metallic bits. The metallic bits are just simply a base, well, it was actually a base coat of carbon black on top. And then I laid Iron Breaker down on top of that. And then applied a thinned out wash of Drakenhof Nightshade. just a little bit, like probably more like a 3-to-1, 3 nightshade to 1 water. Applied that, and then moved on. You know. Comments. Yeah, the show. Well, apparently the stream's running fine now. What was happening in the beginning, I have no idea, but it was all messed up. Sir Peanut Butter, morning, Chris Beams, morning. Ariane looks great, thank you. Ghost of Starman, I was tempted by the Votann launch box, but the only thing massively into is the call, so I think I'll have to give this one a miss. The orange on your duders really pops. Love it. Thank you. It's a spicy meatball. Thank you. Yeah, and I saw the article yesterday on the Warhammer community site, and like, I guess everybody was inspired by the orange scheme. The Trans-Hyperion Alliance is this color scheme. And yeah, apparently everybody was in love with it. Nobody wanted to go with the default color scheme, the Thurian League. And I think I only seen one person do a custom paint job on theirs. So, you know, much respect to that individual. The only person brave enough to do their own color scheme. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Anyway, all right, I'm getting back to work here. I can see the chat, I can see comments, and so feel free to post your questions, post your comments. We will get to the email portion of the show a little bit later. Yeah, so that's all we're doing. That's all we're doing today. I kind of felt like doing things a little bit differently for the show. It feels a little bit, I don't know. Been a while since I've done any of these kind of painting live streams, and I was actually thinking of doing some more this week. Pretty much until I'm pretty much completed this this project. Dark Commission, hi. Chris and Monkeys, hi. Scott Radom. Never be not painting, brah. Good idea. Airlian, I really want to do a custom color with the vibrant deep purple and a light blue, but worried it won't work. A vibrant deep purple and a light blue. No, that would work out pretty well. Like a vibrant deep purple. Like, are you thinking like Nagroth Night as the base and then shade it downwards so get a little bit darker and then have light blue elements, kind of like what is it, like Hoeth blue or whatever heck it's called? That would work out very well. It all depends on like where else you want to go with it as well. Like a deep purple and a light blue, yeah, that would work very well. Actually, it would be really cool if you do it. Post pics and tag me in the pics. Wave the brush. Hail boop, heyo, heyo. Steel Titan. If I had these, I would just paint them as Terrans from StarCraft. Yeah, that is an idea as well, painting them like the Terrans. Because, yeah, these little fellers, they do have that very Terran kind of vibe, don't they? And I equipped all my guys. I did, like, the box set gives you 20. In their codex, they can be a squad size of 20. But I did these as 2 10-man units. Both of them are equipped, like, with 2 culls. Or not culls, but, you know, the Thayans, that's it. So I did one Thayan with the power glove and ion pistol. This guy's got the ion pistol and the sword, the something sword. And I also went with the female head here, and I went with the old male head here. So, yeah, that's the plan there. Both squads are basically identical. For the heavy weapons or the special weapons, I went with a rail rifle and the plasma. You know, and of course, drill out your barrels. What else did I do? Oh, and then I gave each squad the 3 upgrades that they can have, where they basically can have the different sensor arrays. So they have like the scanner, the metapack, and I can't remember what the heck the other option is. It's another thing, but yeah, there's 3 backpack options available to the squad, and so each squad has that option. But anyway. So yeah, it's 20 duders, all ready to go. I'm not planning on spending a whole whack ton of time painting these little fellers. I still have the rest of the bikes to assemble. This, I only have the one bike fully assembled. I gave it the Ion Blaster. Fully assembled. They're not in sub-assembly. You can do these in sub-assembly, and they actually will go together really well as a sub-assembly, but again, my goal is to paint them to a tabletop. I have not assembled the call, so yeah. I would really like to get these guys done because I really would enjoy fitting some games in. Not filming, just playing, because it has been a very long time since I have actually gotten to play. All right, so on the metal bits, I'm gonna get to work on the metal bits. I actually started with Drakenhof Nightshade, fairly generous, so that it fills in the recesses and creates a lot of separation in there. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with another blue and apply a little bit more blue, because I want a little bit more blue present on these metals, just so that it really vibrates with the orange. Sophie, getting projects done, coming back, please, pretty please. Kris, please. Fire Drake, yeah, it's possible. I mean, I might just drop the getting projects done, and it'll be just Way the Brush getting projects done kind of thing. Just kind of amalgamation of, just basically all live streaming will just be titled, Way the Brush, whatever, right? Whatever I happen to be working on. But yeah, if I do go back to doing kind of semi-regular live streams, they'll probably at odd hours. There won't be a set schedule to when I'm going to stream. It'll be just, I turn the camera on, I start painting, and then, people can view it afterwards. Fire Drake, Kris is cheating. He's painting and calling it work. For shame. Aurelian, yeah, I just got to work out which colors with white details and gold will do. Yeah, gold with the deep purple and the light blue. It'll play very nicely. Especially if you go for the closer to yellowy kind of gold, like the more lighter gold. I think that would work out really nicely with that color scheme. And little white bits like the icons or the writing or squad markings and stuff like that in a white, yeah, it would look really sharp. Yeah, definitely. If you do it, please tag me in that and post pics. Fire Drake, he's not even drilling out the barrels. I did drill out the barrels. What are you talking about? Screw you, man. Ion gun. Drilled out barrel. What else is there? Somebody's pistol. Pistol. Drilled out barrel. Bike. Bike in the front of the gun. Barrel. Pistol. Barrel. Big gun. Well, it didn't have to. It was already kind of pre-drilled. Didn't have to do it. Sophie, I'm wondering how they'll look metallic black with some white tiger stripes on the shoulder and knee pads. Oh, interesting. A metallic black. Like a black metal. That'd actually be very interesting. Very interesting. I'm just grabbing a paint here. I got so much crap on my desks and in my work areas. I went Drakenhof Nightshade, which is more of a desaturated blue. I think I'm going to go for a bit more saturation. But I don't know if I want to go too hilarious. A Surman blue? Is this a transparency or is this one of the newer colors? I can't remember. That's really light. I actually like that. Celestum blue? Talisar blue, I think is the one I want. Yeah, I think Talisar blue. Oh! We could go with the turquoise, like Pterodon turquoise. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Pterodon turquoise. I'm going to thin that down. If I can fucking find it. Where the hell is it? Leviathan. I'm getting annoyed. I found the Ultramarines first. Space Wolves. Too many colors in the rainbow. Ooh, Eldari would be cool too. Okay, I'm about to lose my shit here. Oh my god, I can't find it. Okay, I got Talisar blue. If all else fails, I'll use Talisar blue, but I think I want to go with Pterodon turquoise instead. Or no, the one that has the Deepkin, or not the Deepkin. Yeah, the Deepkin name. Achillean green. Yeah, because this one's a really nice turquoise as well. It's quite a bit of green. Maybe not. Where the hell? That's Shy's purple. Okay, I'm about to lose my shit, people. Pterodon turquoise. Let's go. Enough screwing around. Yeah, we had our fun. We had our fun. There it is. Son of a... Even the Pterodon turquoise has quite a bit of green, but I've used the Pterodon turquoise before, and it's got a really nice bluish color. We're going to take this, we're going to thin this down, and we're going to apply it on some of the high points on the metal areas and let it fall into recesses. So if any of you have painting questions and such, feel free to leave them in the chat. Feel free. Sorry, I'm just giving this a mix. Some of these turquoise colors, or turquoise, these Citadel contrast colors have been sitting on my shelf for a little bit. Give this a nice thorough mix. You know what's another thing I haven't done yet? With the new Citadel contrast? I haven't put the agitator in. So, there is that. Okay, so Talisar we'll put over there for the moment. Just in case. We still might use it, but who knows. Ebb and Flow Space Trucking. George Hintz, welcome back to Painting on Way of the Brush. Yeah, exactly. It's been a long time since I've done painting or even like demonstrated painting on Way of the Brush. But yeah, we're doing it today. We're doing it. We're doing it live. All right, so I'm going to take some Pterodon turquoise. And I'm going to take a drop or two of contrast medium. Oh, I got to give this a shake too. Yeah, even the mediums, you can see. Actually, I don't know how well you can see that. Yeah, you can see there's a little bit of buildup on the bottom. So you do have to give these a thorough shake if they've been sitting on your shelves for a little long. Okay, that vibrating sounds annoying me. The cord for the shaker is sitting on a plate. Yeah, for whatever reason, that's weird that the stream messed up like that. Yeah, because now everything is A-OK. That is really, really weird. And so now you can see. Yeah, you can see how now it's perfectly mixed. So if you're painting along, feel free to join. Sophie, it's nice to see you painting on the stream again with the silliness of Way of the Brush is a good mix. Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it's kind of like what I wanted the getting projects done to be like anyway, was, you know, just hanging out, doing some painting, mostly painting, and, you know, doing a little bit of talking. I mean, I was considering today of opening up the Discord Patreon chat and allow some of the patrons to jump in. I'm just going to grab that much turquoise. Mix that into 2 drops. Yeah. It's quite a bit of turquoise. It looks a lot greener than I recall. But whatever. It's going on very thin anyway. I'm not applying this in a heavy manner. Let's grab this old trusty rusty one. So all I'm going to do is basically I just want to push deeper values into the higher points on the metallic bits. Sort of in a non-metallic metal fashion, but not quite. So only just that much paint in the bristles, right? You can see that. And which way is he sitting? So let's do kind of a horizon line thing. Just pushing the color upwards. Yeah, I'm not looking for too much change in the values. Just like that. You know, maybe you thin it down just a little bit more. It's going to grab some generous amount of water. Grab a little bit more color. We'll hit pretty much the main facet with a majority of this color. Start from about 1/3, bring it up. Just like that. And now if we really want to deepen it, we can always do that. I don't think it's entirely necessary, but it all depends on how I feel once we get around to like starting to highlight this and, you know, all of that. That's a lot of color there. Yeah, sort of like that. So you can see, like, once there's not as much light on it, you can see how there's the transition of color there. All right. Hit the little icons. Get the little doodad in behind his head. If I hit any of the orange areas, I'm not too concerned because we can always just paint over that. Correct what I got to do anyway, as I already did kind of hit some of those areas a few times. Now I want there to be value change there, but I don't want it to pool up and sit there too heavily. So I got to kind of keep moving a bit. There's these little icons on his ankles, his cankles. Actually, we didn't get this icon, did we? Okay. Yeah, you can see like a few spots, like up on his little crest up here. You see there's a little bit of extra silver on the area. Just little areas like that we'll correct later on. I'm not too worried about it. Again, this is primarily going to be for tabletop, so I'm not that worried about a lot of the things. I'm going to push these colors though into the shadows. Just push that, make that just a little bit deeper. Right up on the brow. Inside the ear, the horn, and everything. Follow the muscle groups on the face, maybe a little bit on that chin beard thing. Some up here. This one right here. Like that. So as I'm applying the color, I'm basically trying to lay it on the higher points, right? Sophie, you need an overhead camera so we can see your desktop to see the paint. What you mean by a little bit more screens? Yeah, that would mean a lot more cameras. I mean, like, I don't know how much space you guys think I have here my little studio, my office, but it ain't that much. Color down that icon, and now the hammer. Yeah, we'll do the hammer. Let's do the hammer. Grab a little bit more, grab a little more water. So we've added 2 drops of medium to the contrast paint. And we're also using a very heavy amount of water in the bristles. So this is really, really thinned out contrast paint. It's really thinned out. But again, I'm not looking for it to, fall heavily into the recesses or really create like a lot of contrast. I'm only looking for it to change some of the overall value on the surface. That's all I'm looking for. I don't need it to be huge swings in color and hue. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could have saved myself some trouble and just simply used a colored metallic. Say for example, like from Turbo Dork or something, scale 75, anything like that, There's too much color there. Get out of there. Get out of there. Now on the weapon here, I'm okay with hitting a majority of the surface with this color. Just because a lot of it is downward facing. So again, we're not going for like a hard non-metallic metal. I'm just looking for just some value changes. I just want that slight blue-green cast in there so it plays really nicely with that orange values. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's all I'm looking for. All right. What's time? Let's grab a little bit more. Thin that down. Actually, consistency might be okay. Now, on the canisters on the back, I've seen them painted various ways. I'm going to do them the way I initially was, where they're just kind of like, big old power plants on the back. So your horizon line runs this way. So I'm going to try and build it up straight following this line here. Just like so. Just like that. We'll hit this ring. We'll leave the little cap alone if we can. Now, if you have too hard a boundary, you just simply feather that off. Just like so. And that way you have a nice little gradient going on. Capture the other side. So, gotta act fast here. I got a fan blowing on me and it's drying out my colors on my palette. Just like that. Feather that off. Just like so. So like I said, I'm using a fair amount of color to do the little doodad, but I want to leave the cap alone. Get a little more color here. And if I feel it necessary, we can always come in with another layering on this. I may fall out of frame periodically as I'm getting into my painting, which is often the case. Yeah. So you can see that turquoise color now really playing forward. And once we start adding silvers back in, and that's going to recede that effect, and it's not going to be quite as harsh. Of course, we could really push it. You know what? I might on the icon. Just going to grab a little bit of thinned out turquoise. Horizon line. So we're just going to start it right at the browish area. Just like that. Of course, it's not a hard, you know, set in stone kind of rule or anything like that. It's more of just a guide. That's it, just like that. Just apply a bit more color there. Just to make the eye see that there's a transition there, right? In fact, we can probably do it again here. In fact, we'll lay a lot of color on this part here, right up here. Yeah, just like that. You know what, maybe we'll do it on the little symbol thing. Whatever the hell this is. Yeah, just like that. Just a bit more color. Just a bit. Okay, we're going to go ham. We're going to lay more color down. Since I really enjoy color and working with color, because, you know, who doesn't? Yeah, like that. Like that. Yeah, I'm really liking the really saturated look of the turquoise on these surfaces. Let's see there. Yeah, I'm really digging it. Let's do a little more here. Put a nice strong band of color right up there. Maybe we'll push the deepness up there, yeah. So come to this side. Just like so. Yeah. Just like that. Make that nice and deep like. There we go. Get in there real deep like. Okay. Answer some questions here. Any questions? Any questions at all? Evan Belleau, just out of curiosity, what brush are you using today? Well, today, here's what's sitting on my desk for things I'm going to paint. Like, these are the brushes that typically sit. So I often have this Army Painter Wargame Monster brush. It's a synthetic brush, but I often use this for whenever I'm using, you know, synthetic paints or solvent-based acrylics, whatever. I have this medium dry brush out because, well, you can still see there's some orange there. I use brush soap, but you can still see there's dried paint in there. I'm just beating the paint right into the bristles. But yeah, I use that all the time. I always use this medium shade brush. This is the brush I always use to gather paint with, but I also use it to actually use shade washes. So I often use that. Then I've got an Artist Opus number 2, and that was just achieving some more precise base coating. I also have a tattered number 1. You can see it barely comes to a point anymore. This one I've been using this brush like since they released these brushes, so you can see it's pretty well worn. It's worn down to the nub almost. It'll be due for retirement soon. And then I also use this older heavy metal style brush. Or is it? You can barely see it's a standard brush. You can barely see the print on it anymore. And this one here I often will use for lining and everything like that. I use this one. I actually didn't clean it last time I was playing with this, because now there's a little booger on it. Booger in the bristles. Got a booger in my bristles. We'll have to wash that later. And then when I was doing the eyeballs, I was using this Rubeloff number 0 to do eyeballs. I was using that. Comes to a really nice point. I actually really enjoy these brushes. They're pretty darn good, and they're sable. And yeah, the only thing is though is they're not lacquered handles, They come out of Russia, Klonsky. Basically, any sable hair brushes, the sable that they use, it all comes out of Russia anyway, right? So, yeah. Although I think getting things out of Russia these days is kind of a pain in the ass, but yeah. Fire Drake. That looks really nice. Very nice metallic color. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Again, the choice was made just because I was looking for a color that's going to play nicely with the orange, because he's so predominantly orange. Once we get into the little troopers, their color scheme actually on the lower halves is quite dark. They actually have dark gray pants with dark leather boots. The guns are metal and black, so, and I'm gonna do the face shields. I'm gonna do the face shields gold, just because I could do them silver even in this turquoise. I don't know. At the time when I was planning out the color scheme for them, I was thinking of gold on their face shields, but yeah, hard to say. I actually might want to put a little bit more turquoise up on the canisters, just at the high points. Yeah, screw it, let's do it. So I'm going to take just pure Pterodon turquoise, right? Just pure Pterodon turquoise. I'm going to put it on my palette, thin it with just like a little bit of water, just like not like any kind of mixture, like ratio type thing. It'd be like fraction of a whole unit, if that makes sense. It's just a little bit. So I'm just going to take a little bit onto my brush, because we don't really need that much. You can see there, right? Slap a little bit onto the palette. Give that a rinse. Take our brush. And so whenever I say just a little bit of water, you see how swollen the bristles are? I usually just give this a quick snap, and then just snap the excess moisture out of the bristles, and then I put it into my paint. And that is usually enough just to get that thinned out, yeah, in a nice little consistency there. And so we're just going to push more color here. Yeah, see, it's pretty vibrant. I got a lot going on here. I'm going to feather this off. Oh, Fritz. Drop my damn brush. Trying to do that quickly. Yeah. Dropping my brush slowed me down. I left a little tide mark. It's okay. I'm not that concerned about it. Build a little bit more color intensity there. More. Yeah, this side's kind of jumbled. Like that. Just a little bit more intensity in the color. So So it transitions off into just regular silver. And yeah. Now, I personally, I don't know how well it shows up on camera, just like the color difference, but yeah, I definitely like the turquoise playing with that orange. That's a lot of fun. All right, so give that a few moments to dry. The blue-green actually is, I'm liking it more now as part of the combination of color. Yeah, I'm definitely digging that a lot more. Oi, jeez Louise. Navarro, TNT. Thank you for the oh, it's on the wrong screen. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, shit. Messed it up. Damn it. I messed it up. Fire Drake, the brush flex is strong. That's not even a brush flex. That's not a brush flex. Because, well, dude, come on. You've seen how many brushes I have. I have 3 containers over there of brushes. Citadel, Old Citadel, Army Painter, Winsor Newtons, and stuff like that. And then I've got my workaday brushes over here. I keep them in this little tin over here, and this is all Artis Opus, Rubelov, and Heavy Metal. And I also have, I've never used, I have these other brushes from Citadel. I've never used them. Where is it? Where's one? Yeah. I got these ones here. They got a red handle. This is when I got the opportunity to visit Games Workshop HQ a couple years back. And yeah, I don't know if they ever sold these or what, but anyway. Yeah, I've never used these brushes. These are, they're heavy metal brushes, but never used them. Unlike my old red-handled Citadel heavy metal brushes. Like, see here. Here's where the flexing comes in, right here. So I got some old ass Citadel. I got like the old blue handled ones, right? The old blue ones. Here's like some here. This one here, okay, it's an old Citadel standard brush, but there's your problem. It's only got one fucking hair on it. The brush has only got one hair. So, this brush though, actually, I use this a lot of times for moving glue around. So whenever I do like glue bases or anything like that, or whenever I need something small to like maneuver pieces on a base or, whatever, right? Yeah, that's what this brush often gets used as. But here's a Citadel brush that probably many of you have never used. It is the special Citadel Artificer brush. It's the XS, right? But it's the curved furl variation. You guys probably never seen this one before, because basically what ends up happening is if you're a complete dummy and you run your brush into the corner of your table, yeah, you bend the furl. That's why you've never seen those brushes, because you've never been so stupid and in a rush to paint something and smack the end of your brush into the table and bend the furl. Yeah, that's the special limited edition brushes. They basically just let me just kind of ram brushes into the table. Oh, look at this! Look what I can do with the brush. Boom, and it's all flowered out and everything. Anyway. Navarro, nice mini there. Looks like Votann go well in orange. Yeah, apparently everybody thought, yeah, you know what? Votann in orange? Fuck yeah, let's paint them like that, right? Because apparently everybody did. Now, I've been sitting on these models for a little bit, and I told them that this was the color scheme I was going to go in case they wanted to coordinate, showing variations in the color schemes and people making up their own color schemes. No, everybody, like I'd say good 70% of what went out got painted orange. For whatever reason, I don't know if that's one of those great minds think alike or whatever, but yeah, that's what ended up happening. It's kind of funny. It's funny. I made the joke on Twitter that it's kind of like showing up to a party and you're dressed same as everybody else at the party. Scott Radham, If you're new to the show, one thing Kris recommends for testing is to see if you have too much paint or too thin paint on your brush is to run it across the back of your hand. Yeah, just fucking just run that son of a bitch right there. Oh, man. I don't... See, like, you can paint miniatures and not have yourself covered in paint. Amazing. I know, it's an amazing concept, but, yeah. It's an amazing concept, I know, but you don't have to cover yourself in paint when you're painting at all. Painting canvases, painting houses, painting miniatures. Although house painters always end up getting covered in paint anyway, and that's like head to toe, so... I mean, it's understandable, but... but they're not... House painters usually aren't out there going, oh, wow, the colors, and we're going to go this way, we're going to create, you know, and this is... We're dealing with the trauma of being born here. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing like that, right? It's just fucking painting the houses, you know? And painting miniatures is really not that different. It's not... I mean, you can go completely artsy-fartsy on it. But just like painting houses, there is a methodology and best practices. And, yeah. Scott, then you can feel the exact load of the paint. It's a top technique. Good tip, Kris. Fuck off. Fire Drake, I've just been flexed on. Yeah, you have. That's a flex. Ooh. Oh, pulled something. Ghost of Starman, good for eyes? Yeah. That happened to me, but it wasn't with the brush. Hurts to this day. Starsky Studio. What is the Orange Votann faction-wise? They're called the Trans-Hyperion Alliance. I dig them, and the rules for them are a lot of fun. Offhand, I can't recall what the rule is. All the factions, all the color schemes, they all have special rules and like how they operate on the tabletop. And I'm having a hard time now remembering what their benefit was, but it's decent. They're all good. The red one is like the red color scheme is their special rule. That's kind of broke. It's kind of broke. But yeah, Trans-Hyperion Alliance is this color scheme. On the Warhammer community site, there's an article. It was posted, I think, this week. It was like Monday or Tuesday they posted. And it basically gives you a quick little kind of overview as far as like what each of the sub-factions are for the leagues. So, yeah, there's 5 main. But in the codex itself, it has, you can make up your own. So if you don't want to go with any of the mainstream leagues or the established leagues, right, you can make up your own. Just kind of like Eldar, kind of like Space Marines, kind of like Chaos. You know, you have your big factions, but then you also have your sub-factions that you can, you know, make your own thing with. And yeah, with the leagues, yeah, they established, like, there's these little fellers are all over the galaxy doing their own thing. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I liked about these guys is the Orange. They are big explorers. They're like these guys. Like if you're gonna run into a Leagues of Votann in Tau space or on the fringes of the galaxy, you're most likely gonna run to one of these guys, which is what I liked. Is because these guys are basically all over the place. These guys are explorers. I could just as easily go get the book, I suppose. Okay, you know what? I'll go get the book. We're just taking our time with the show today. I'm painting, talking to you guys, answering questions, and since somebody was asking questions about the faction, I'll do it. I'll do it. Don't tempt me. I'll do it. Don't tempt me. I'll do it, you sons of bitches. Anyway. Oh. Yeah, so I did a review on the limited edition Leagues of Votann Codex that comes in the Army set box that's being pre-ordered today. I like the lore of these little fellers. And I talk about it in the review I did that I highly recommend reading the lore if you're going to get into these guys. Even if you're just kind of curious about more things happening within Warhammer 40,000 as far as the universe is concerned. Because what is really interesting is that the Leagues of Votann, they occupy the galactic core, which is just dense with stars and, you know, all sorts of stuff, right? And so that's really the area of space that the Leagues of Votann occupy. It's not solely because they go all over the place, but they're primarily, their empires in that center. So anyway, yeah, you have the Greater Thurian League, right, which is the default greenish white scheme, and then the Trans-Hyperion Alliance. And so I like their glyph. The glyph is really cool. It actually reminds me more of like a Chinese symbol or Japanese symbol, you know, which is kind of cool. It kind of, you know, a bit of a Blade Runner type vibe, you know, just like where you see like, you know, all sorts of different icons and stuff like that, you know, in the cities and the neon and all sorts of crazy crap. Anyway, their league custom is Honor the Ancestors. Oh yeah, if the unit is below its starting strength, add 1 to the attack hit roll, and each time they make an unmodified wound roll of 6, the armor penetration of that attack is improved by 1. So yeah, that's what they get, the orange guys. They also get some other stuff as well. It's pretty darn cool. Their strategem's actually pretty good, darn good. Basically get feel no pain for 1 CP. But you also have like the Cronius Hegemony. I don't think I've seen anybody paint this color scheme. This is the black and yellow one. These red ones, the Ymir Conglomerate, they're broke. They can add 4 inches to the range of their weapons, like whatever. And yeah, models in the unit, they're with a save characteristic of 2, gain a 4 invulnerable save as well. And other models in units gain a 5 invulnerable. Just because you got red paint. Just because you painted your guys red. But then also you have like the established league customs, and you have like a whole bunch of different choices for leagues as well. It's really darn cool. It's a very interesting faction. I for one welcome our new alien overlords, and yeah. All right, where was I? Was I done with the Pterodon Turquoise? Yeah, I think that's as deep as I want to go. Any more, I think it would just be a little too dark. I'm not looking for high contrast. I'm not looking to spend a lot of time on this guy. I just want to, you know, get him to a good tabletop, because he is a character, right? So, yeah. Starsky Studio. Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out. I'm tired of painting Black Legion. Yeah, Black Legion? Yeah. I mean, Black Legion is not bad, especially if you mix in the other gods as well, because then you can throw in just a little splash color, just kind of, you know, mix things up a bit. Oi, what's that? Oh, super chat.
Thanks for inspiring me to paint. A little cheeseburger money for you. Shish shushing face.
Shish shushing face. That sounds more like a Native American name. Oh, this is Big Chief Shish shushing face. I can make that joke because I'm Native American. You can't though. Don't even fucking try. Everybody's like, "Aw." I wanted to make jokes. Sorry, I'm looking. Oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe we'll play a little bit of this. I'm looking for my frickin' Stormhole Silver. Oh, there it is. I was about to lose my shit for a second. Actually, it looks kind of thin. What did I do? Ooh, it's been a while since we played with it. You know what? Yeah, the paint is looking a little tired. It's been sitting on the shelf for a while. I'm going to throw it on the mixture. And yeah. I'm pretty sure I put a bead in these. Not like an anal bead. Let's see here. Let's see if this... Yeah, see, you can hear the bead in there. That's the bead. So, big thank you, Fire Drake, for the super chat. Awesome stuff. If Stormhole Silver doesn't work out for whatever reason, if it's like gotten too thin on me, I'm just gonna use Runefang Steel. Runefang Steel and Stormhost, like you can see, they're pretty darn close, but Stormhole Silver, you can see, is just a hair brighter. It's just a hair. You can barely tell the difference, but Stormhole Silver is a bit brighter. But then we're going to use a little bit of Necron Compound. I think we'll just do a quick little dry brush on those big canisters and the big goat head as well. But I just want to give this a little bit more of a shake, just to get that bead moving around. Got to move your anal beads once in a while, otherwise they get stuck. Yeah, see? I'm shaking, you can't hear the bead anymore. Might be a lump in there or something. Let's put it back on the mixer. Yeah, now I can hear the bead moving around. Had to shake the bead loose. That's what it was. Had to shake the bead loose. And that's true of when, you know, you're playing with anal beads as well. Sometimes you move around and like you don't hear it. It's like, what the hell's going on? Because you got to move it around a bit, you know? You got to keep it moving. Got to keep it moving. I'll bet some of you weren't expecting that. Thought, oh, you know what? I think I'll watch Kris do some little painting. Huh, what do you know? You gain a little bit of information about painting and anal beads. Boom, boom, boom. Re-equip my painting rag. This is my painting rag. It's just an old t-shirt. I always sit across my lap. This is dries the paint, and it also, I use it for dry brushing, and it's just the way I've done things for many, many years. I've always just had my painting rag right on my lap. Fire Drake. Is that Mithril Silver renamed? Stormhole Silver? I don't know. Did I buy silver? Coat to arms. I bought the white, the black, the leather, and the brown. No. Maybe I'll have to buy some Mithril Silver, some old Mithril Silver, just to try out, you know, just to see if there's any comparison. But yeah. Fire Drake. A lot more than I need to know about beads. That's what I'm saying, right? You show up for the painting as well as, you know, tips. Starsky Studio, the more you know. Exactly, man. Exactly. The more you know. Scott Radom. A chess player has been accused of using remote control anal beads to cheat. He accused of having someone at the computer analyzing the game and using the remote control on the beads to send messages. True story. I did hear about that. And you know what? Fair play. Fair play to anybody who's going to go to that kind of length to win a game. It's just a game. But they're going to go to that lengths of shoving an anal bead up there and developing and mastering some sort of Morse code to convey, you know, the tactic. Because how do you convey knight to rook 4? Like, how do you convey that? Like, that's a beep, 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 beep. Like, you're out there like fucking World War I on the telegraph. Beep, 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 beep. You know? Like, and he's sitting there fucking playing the game, and then anal beads going, you know what I mean? Telling him where to move. Like that's some effort. That's a commitment to the cheating. Stick an anal bead up there, you know, and like, what if he hit the prostate while he's playing, and he's like, oh. Is that how they found out? It got a little too close to the prostate. He was like, and we're going to move bishop to rook 9. I just like to know how he got found out. How did they find out? I think somebody squealed on him. I think that's what it is. I think somebody squealed. Or maybe he had to change the battery halfway through the game. Because sometimes chess games could take a while. And so maybe he ran out of juice and he had to go switch the batteries out. Honestly, I want to know how long it took them to develop a system of conveying what to do in those situations. Because, like, that couldn't run too long because you'd hear it, right? You'd hear it. Like, especially if he's not like a big guy. If he's just a little skinny feller, you know, and he bought the wrong alien bead and he bought like one of the big ones, and it's like actually touching like on the floor of his chair. And if it's like a hard plastic chair, anybody who sat in a hard plastic chair knows that, you know, like even your phone, when that vibrates, that makes a really loud sound, right? So imagine he's sitting there, nobody's got phones or anything around them, and then he's just sitting there, and I think I'll move, you know. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Fucking anal beads, man. Fucking anal beads. Ghost of Starman, I can't confirm the thing about the anal beads. Wait, no, I meant the painting. Fuck. Fire Drake. Kris isn't right in the head. No. Why? Who said I was? Nobody's ever accused me of being right in the head. Alright. So Ironbreaker was our base. I think I'm going to come back in with a little bit of Ironbreaker just to reestablish some of that silvers, because after I did the Drakenhof Nightshade, because Drakenhof Nightshade finishes kind of matte, it knocks a bit of the shine off the metallic. Not that I need the metallic to be really shiny, but I think I just want to bring some of that shininess back in. So I'm going to take a little bit of Ironbreaker. Yeah, we use Ironbreaker. And you know what? I'm going to use a drop of medium just to thin it down just a little bit. Maybe not. Yeah, we will. It's going to take a drop of Ironbreaker and a drop of medium, roughly a 1-to-1, and we're going to use this and reestablish some of the high points on the figure. So I'm going to grab about that much Ironbreaker, slappez-vous onto my palette. Grab some Lamian medium, made of Lamians. What's a Lamian anyway? What is a Lamian? Come on, one of you knows. What's a Lamian? Oh shit, I'm knocking shit over now. God damn it. My workspace is really crowded. Give it a nice thorough mix. It's pretty thin. A 1-to-1 mix will like make it really, really thin, but that's fine, because if I really want to, on some of the flatter areas, I can just kind of like glaze in this highlight. It's actually more the base tone I'm reestablishing, but I'm just neatening up some of the space here. Now, some of the bigger areas I am going to use a dry brush on, like the hammer, the goat head, and probably the final edges of the canisters. And yeah, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this. And very carefully, we are going to catch just the bottoms of stuff. Just like so. And in fact, we can actually push this into other areas and establish a highlight on some of these details. Just like so. Yeah, here we go. Now we're cooking with gas. So there. Let's see. See? Got a little more. Now, I don't know if you guys can see on the camera here, but like you can see how like the tip of the brush is like very, very just minuscule amounts of paint in there. That's because the paint is really thin. I also draw it through the palette, turn it 180, make a little chisel. See how it's flat on one side of it? And I use that so that I can catch just the high points of these little details. Just like so, just like this. Just like that. Just like that. That. So we're just going for those little runes on the inside there. Trying to keep this on camera here. Okay. Oh shit! I forgot about the icons on his calves. The little icons. We'll do those now. Boom. Boom. We'll have to clean up those edges as well once we're done farting around with the silvers. Yep. Grab a little more. I'll do this side. So let's grab. So get lots of silver in his beard. Yeah, just like that. Get a little more there. Yeah. Yeah. Basically what it's kind of like is it's almost like overbrushing. If you've ever done overbrushing on a model, it's kind of like that, where you're taking a very thinned out paint and applying it on the surface, and you're just catching just high points. You're working with the paint in more like a dry brush, where you're just trying to catch just the high points, right? It's kind of like that. Ghost of Starman. Kris, your imitation of a guy getting his prostate hit was a bit too accurate, not gonna lie. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. Ghost, I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's do these little details in the back here. Now, the other danger you have when you're working with your paints, especially like metallics thinned out, is if you've got them a little too thin, they can run in your details, right? They can just take off and start filling in details, and you really don't want that. Not usually, anyway. Here, I'm trying to maintain a steady hand. Trying to push more silver towards the back end of this detail. Just like that. Like that. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we're going to use it on the hammer. Oh, wait, no, I didn't do the interior doodads there. Those little hoses on the back of his head. More silver towards the front. So I'm just going to catch it just like that. Now this basically, I'm highlighting each segment with a slight little metallic glaze. So I'm just kind of letting just the paint do its thing on those surfaces. Catch just those little ends like that. Just like that. That is all. Fire Drake, I'm confused now. Should I get my prostate checked or buy anal beads? Why not do both? In fact, that getting anal beads is kind of a two birds and one stone kind of thing. Really, if you think about it. Go on, think about it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do it. Do it. That. Okay, so the hammer face, we're going to do the lower portion down here brighter. Just these high points. Just like that. So let's see. Just get them little, just those little areas. Now, I don't know if we're going to get much of a difference here once we bust out the Stormhole Silver, but we'll find out. There we go. Going to learn today. Sort of. Okay. Yeah. Just catch some little details. A little bit on the hammer, the little handle. Little up color right there. Make that nice and bold. I like bold. I like bold. I don't know about you, but I like bold. Fire Drake. Yeah, definitely something wrong with this group of individuals here. Probably. I mean, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, yeah, I would say. I think it's pretty safe to assume that there's a lot wrong with the people in this group. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Basically, this is kind of like, this chat often feels like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That's what this feels like. And oddly enough, the only one who was sane was Chief. So like I said, I wasn't looking for a whole lot of value change adding the turquoise, and we are keeping on track with that. I do like these little end caps a little bit brighter though. Yeah. So like that. Yeah. All right. All right. The end of the hammer. Oh, then we got to do the canisters. Forgot about that. You're supposed to remind me of these things. That's the only reason I bother showing up for online streams is you guys can remind me of this shit I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. Just like that. See if we can get the inside. I was just kidding. We can. Like that. Oh, here's a question. The handle of his axe. Black or a different color? Don't know. So I'm going to do that strap. I'm probably going to do that strap brown. I know, boring, but that's how it's going to end up. Now, I think for the canisters, I am just going to simply dry brush them first, and then I'm going to come in with Stormhole Silver and just do a bit of edge highlighting. So for that, we're going to use some Necron Compound. One of my favorites. This is one of my favorites to use for dry brushing, like metals and stuff. Even chipped armor and stuff. It's fun. Star Sky Studio. I don't remember 5 minutes ago. All right. Dark Commission. After having my prostate checked, my doc said, "Take a seat, John." I put on a high-pitched Mickey Mouse voice and said, "I think I'll stand for a minute." Oh, how we laughed. LOL. Oh, how we laughed. Especially if your doc has got like those old-timer, you know, he worked in the mines kind of hands. Like he's got like big sausage fingers and he's just rooting around in there. Oof. 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 All right, we're going to use this medium dry brush. Should we use the medium dry brush? No, actually, probably shouldn't. I washed this, so I can put this one away. I'm going to use my small dry brush. Where is my small dry brush? Small dry brush. There it is. I had to buy a new one because my old one. Oof. How do they say it in the UK? It's knackered. Yeah. Here's my old dry brush. Yeah, it's pretty tired looking, right? I had to pick up a new one because, yeah, this guy, done. So you can see how, you know, dry brushing will shorten the lifespan of your brushes. No joke. No joke. And I take care of my brushes. I take care of my brushes. Believe me, I take care of them. People out there are like, "Kris, you don't take care of your brushes. Who are you kidding?" Oh, I take care of them. I baby them. I baby them. Even baby brushes, I baby. Fire Drake, how about auburn color for the strap? Auburn. For the strap? Yeah, I could. Because the base is going to be lighter than this. I just have, this is just basically dryad bark. And yeah, this was just so that because I was looking at so much orange because I had airbrushed this. So like it was all orange and it was like just, you know, fucking with my eyeballs. And so I had to paint the base so that I can, you know, properly see. Because that's why I was basically knocking down so much orange on this model because it was a lot of orange. It was a lot of orange. And I've seen some other examples where they paint this side and this side of the shield arm here in like different colors and just do just that center bit in the League colors, right? So I thought, no, I like the shield all one color like that. It feels kind of Lego to me. But yeah. Oh, right, dry brushing. Leo Cortez, nice, thank you. John, now wondering how you wore down your mustache. Exactly, right? That was the mustache. It was just constantly wearing down. It's kind of like a beaver's teeth. And, you know, it just constantly gets worn down. And it's like, fuck it. And just shave it, start over again. If need be. I'm not saying I'm growing a mustache out again. Okay, I just did it again. Ooh, it sounds weird. Ew, it's all sticky. How many of you have picked up your Citadel dry paints and shook them? You don't have to, but I just did it. Forced a habit, I guess. But the thing is, though, is I shook it and I could feel something moving around. And I remember the last time I was playing with this, I actually had to kind of break it up because the surface that was just a little too firm, and so I wanted to get into some of the softer meat inside. And yeah, I don't know if you can hear it here. Let's see if we can hear it. Okay, shh. Okay, shh. Can you hear that? That's dry paint. So we're just going to grab some Necron compound. I just dab it into the brush a little bit. I wipe it off on the sides. Oh, it's very dry. But anyway, only that much is needed. Then I wipe it off on a cloth. Now this is why I often will use a black cloth for my dry brushing, right? You can see there. So I can see the lighter colors, because most of the time when we're dry brushing with lighter colors, and it's just easier to see how much paint you've removed from your bristles. So now you can see that, like, there's next to no paint, right? You think, oh, that brush is fine, right? There's no paint on it. But watch this. Nope, fucked it up. See, just a very light dry brush, and we're just getting just those edges. That's all we're looking to do. When you're dry brushing, you want to keep a very, very light hand. Very light. As light as, no, lighter than that. Lighter than that. But that's dry brushing for you. That's the secret of dry brushing. It's not much of a secret, but yeah, it's keeping a very, very light hand and not having a lot of paint in the bristles. You want to have like next to no paint in the bristles. Next to none. So again, next to no paint in the bristles. That's fine. I'm just trying to get all the angles. I'm trying not to hit other areas of the model, but I probably am going to end up hitting some areas. Also trying to catch some of these details. Just want to catch just some of those surfaces. Oh yeah, the ram head. Ram head. Ram. There we go. Yeah. That's it. Like, it's not hard. This is miniature painting, people. It's not rocket science, right? It ain't rocket science. But yeah, you can see how we've established more. And in fact, I kind of want to put a bit more concentration right at the very top part of the ends here. Just for visual sake, and make it really reestablish that metallic value. Yeah, just like that. Now, one thing that does occur, though, when you are dry brushing is the surface can end up kind of chalky. Now, that is just one of the trade-offs of dry brushing, and especially, which is why I often recommend only 1 or 2 layers of dry brushing. So if dry brushing can be done at the second last or the very last stage, all the better. Way back in the day, I used to dry brush right from black all the way up to my brightest color. You know what? My Nurgle Demon is an example of that, of dry brushing from black all the way up. It might not be black, but it might be, yeah. I don't know if you can see. I don't know how well. No, I think I might have base coated it green. Yeah. But like, here's the old Nurgle Demon, right? You can see how I have that dark green, and I brought it all the way up, which was, I think it was, the really light green was Bylus green. But yeah. That's entirely dry brush, even the horns. From a dark brown up to this bone color. Now it's all dry brushed. Yeah. You see his pee-pee. Ha! Nurgle pee-pee. Anyway. Oh, I can see his pee-pee. We got Nurgle bum, Nurgle pee-pee. Anyway. Oh, we love Nurgle on this show, don't we? We love the Nurgle. Love the Nurgle. So anyway, as I was going to say, when you get that dusting, you clean your brush off. Preferably a clean, dry brush. Yeah, I'm just going to move a bit more moisture out of this. Especially if you've used Citadel Dry, you got to make sure that you pull all the moisture out of the brush. And then very lightly, you can redust the model and just pull some of that dust off. Because as you're dry brushing, the particles float around and then will fall back to the surface. And it'll, create more dust on the model. And using a clean, dry brush, you can just simply knock that debris off the model. Oh yeah, I did hit the frickin' model too. I hit the shoulder pad up here. That's okay. We can fix that. We have the technology. And yeah, so the other thing that will fix it as well, or at least knock a lot of the dustiness off, is applying a sealant. So when you seal the model, it'll also trap that debris in there. But if you don't want a lot of that dustiness, then yeah, you can just simply remove it. But there we go. So now the canisters look and feel a little bit more like metallic. They don't feel quite as turquoisey anymore. Right? The little canisters up there. So now we're going to come in with some Stormhole Silver, and we're just going to do just a little bit of edge highlights. Just a bit. Very, very subtle. And same with, I think, probably the ram head as well. And probably the hammer. Oh, we never did any highlighting on the guns. Oops. He's got two little bolter guns in his fist. He's got a bolt gun fist. Fisting bolters. I don't know what the hell you call it. Oh, no, we got to hit Stormhole Silver across everything. Don't we? We got to do all the icons. Okay, never mind. We got to get comfy with the Stormhole Silver. I know what I'm doing. Don't look at me like that. Excuse me. John, do you have PAX in Canada? PAX in Canada. I don't even know what PAX is. What is PAX? What's PAX? Please tell me. Please. Tell me. I don't know what PAX is. I don't know what it is. Kim, are you doing this as a painting stream? Not the usual segments? I'm just doing something different. Because I felt like it. I wanted to continue work on my Votann. And yeah, because, well, Kim, I don't know. Did you just show up, Kim? Or have you been off here, or been here for a bit? I don't know. Yeah, you showed up a little while ago. So anyway, I'm just working on the champion. He's the only guy, other than the call, that will get a little bit of attention paid to him, because, the characters, right? But I also have, like, I got, like, 20 of these little fellers. The orange is done. I just got to come in with the other colors, the grays and the browns and stuff like that. And then, of course, I have one of the bikes assembled, ready for priming. Got to get the other bikes assembled. They're still, like, they're in, partial assembly. I will say that the assembly of these models is really darn good, and I don't know if it was just the pack I got, but like mold lines, the way they design these kits these days, a lot of times the seam lines, mold lines, stuff like that, they get obscured by other details. There's only a few spots where you can really kind of spot mold lines. Like, for example, on the gun, you can still see like there's some mold line on the gun, but like as far as anywhere else on the bike, you're hard pressed to find mold lines and seam lines and joins. And I think that's really good. That is a lot of care going into the preparation for designing and sculpting these things. I think that's really, really good. Yeah. These are the kind of things that I'm concerned with as a modeler and as a hobbyist, and yeah, as like even the little foot troopers, like there was like next to no cleaning for these guys. Like they were really, really, like anywhere where the mold line ran, it was like minimal. Like mold line on that roundish part on his backpack there was a mold line there, and just had to knock that off. But like the shoulder pads, the little legs, there was one spot on the ankles you could see just a little bit of mold line. You just had to knock down. Like again, it was like these guys went together really straightforward. They're only like about 3 parts for the body and torso, arms, backpack, and the head. And that's it. That's all. That's as many pieces as they are. They're not that complex to assemble up. Fire Drake, special Votann painting, hopefully with more of these streams. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking that this week, just because the way things are scheduled out this week for me, I'm thinking about streaming a little bit more this week. Random times though, unfortunately. I can't commit to a time that I'll be at to stream. So I'll just be turning on the camera. Now the other thing is though, is the streams, I might actually not have them public. So they might be just for patrons once they're said and done. Just saying. Dark Commission emails, etc. coming up as normal. Yeah. Emails, yeah. What time are we at? Holy crap, it's already 1:30? Really? Yeah, I've been streaming for an hour and a half. Huh. All right. Kim, the Votann is probably the release that I have the least interest in that GW has done in the last 5 years. I don't care if they did them or not. I'm probably never going to paint any of them. I don't like them at all. Yeah, well, you're not alone, Kim. You're not alone. I know there's many people who love them, and there's many people who don't like them. People who are indifferent, and people who absolutely hate them. I don't understand the absolute hate, but yeah, I mean, I don't absolutely love them. I mean, I don't think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, but they are a lot of fun. I mean, we're just talking about little plastic soldiers here, right? And I don't know why you would have such an emotional reaction to something like that, but some people do. So, whatever. It's okay. John. Okay. It's a gaming tabletop expo, and just did Wikipedia, and it's only in the US and Australia, not so in Canada. Okay. No, I had no idea. I had no idea what PAX was. You got to fill me in on some of these details sometimes, folks. All right, so we're busting out the Stormhole Silver, and we're going to do a little bit of edge highlighting. And maybe make a little bit silver on the icons, especially like on his punchy glove and his shoulder pad. You know what it is, too, about this guy? Is I think I spent a little too much time on the face. And I even painted his eyeballs. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but yeah, I even painted his little eyeballs. Maybe I'll do a close-up of his face, post it on Instas. Maybe. I'm also thinking there's like this little doodad in the middle of his chest and just over his peepee. And I'm thinking of doing those like little flashlights. I don't know if that's how they're painted, but yeah. I was thinking like a light blue light source, or maybe like a light blue gem. I don't know. What do you guys think? Too much? Not enough? Don't know? Don't care? All right. Let's grab a little bit of the Stormhole Silver. Yeah, it's mixed. A little worried it wasn't mixed, but it's mixed. So I'll just grab a little bit. You see how nice and bright that is? We'll slap it right there. Now, after putting the... Oh, no, that was Ironbreaker I was using, wasn't it? Yeah. Never mind. I was going to say, wow, it's pretty bright in comparison to... Oh, never mind. Never mind. All right. Stormhole Silver. Oh, man. Grab a little bit onto my brush. No thinning other than just the dampness of the brush, which is just after the rinse and a dry. I take the paint, put it into a bit of a chisel shape, right? You see how it's a little chisel? And then we're just going to catch it. You know what? We'll catch the gun barrels too. We'll do the gun barrels. Bang like that. Bang like that. Yeah. Nice and bright. Now, Leagues of Votann, when you read about these guys, their technology is really good. Like, these guys are teaching the Tau about technology. Like, that's how good their technology is. I'm just going to go just the very bottoms of stuff. Yeah, just like that. Just a little bit in there. Just kind of follow the motif on this design here that's on his shield. Just to bring some attention to it. A dry brush could have also probably achieved this as well, just catching just these points, but I want to catch just sections. Just like that. Yeah. You can see how it looks like there. See? Wait, jeez Louise. Thank you, XO Chosen, for following. For the follow. For the follow. Alright. Now the highlights on the center glyphs, I'm only highlighting the right side, not this side. The color builds to that side of those details you can see there. Pushing it just to one side. Catch just the bottom of that. Clean these details up after. Get his cankles. Try to get these pipe doodads. You know what? I'm just going to do just a streak. Just a thin line. Yeah. Just like that. Just a dot on that one. So just a thin line. Thin line there. And just a dot. Just like that. Very, very minimal. XO Chosen, how did you do the skin? The skin was a 1-to-1 mix of Dryad Bark and Bugman's Glow. And then added Bugman's Glow all by itself as a first initial highlight. Then added Cadian Flesh to the mixture. And then finished off with a pure Cadian Flesh tone as the final highlight. I think. Oh, and then I added a little bit of Pallid Witch Flesh to the mixture, just to bring it up a little bit more. Just for like the eyelids and stuff like that. Just the tiniest of little spots. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The hair was Skaven Blight Dinge, and I simply added Pallid Witch Flesh to it, and to make the highlight colors for it. That's all I did for his hair. But yeah, the flesh, it was Dryad Bark and Bugman Glow, and then brought it up with Bugman Glow, picked out the high points, the base of Dryad Bark and Bugman Glow as a mixture. That was just for the deepest point, so it's really just very visible. Like, you can probably still see it on camera here. See on the inside of his cheeks where it's really dark, the inside of his ears, and maybe at the very back of his head where it's really dark. And then it's brought up to like a Cadian flesh tone just on this side of his face. It's not uniform highlight. It's because the way he's kind of positioned, like, because he's running like that, and the light sourcing is coming straight, like kind of this angle, right? So more light is going to catch him on this side of his face. Yeah. Because typically the face is the central point, and so yeah, that's all. All right. LOL, Leagues of Votann are under the Xenos category on the website. Yeah, well, they're not Imperium. Leagues of Votann aren't the Imperium. Especially if you have gotten the snippets of information or have read the Codex. Yeah, they're not part of the Imperium. And in fact, they are very unlikely to join the Imperium. They have worked with the Imperium before, but they're very unlikely to work with the Imperium or join the Imperium. Like, kind of like, repatriation kind of thing. They're very unlikely to do it because the Votann, their computer cores, are essentially AI. And the Imperium is kind of got a thing about the AI, right? So, and the AI for the Votann is, well, everything about them is all about the AI. So they are not going to do anything about that. They're not going to join the Imperium. They're not part of the Imperium because the Imperium doesn't know what the Votann is. They don't tell the Imperium that because they know that the Imperium is really weird about that. They know the Imperium's full of weirdos, so they don't tell them. They keep it a secret. You know what? Let's highlight that one side. Great Gurman. Hey, Kris. Have you heard anything about the new Vallejo Express paints? Their response to GW Contrast? I've heard about these Express paints. I haven't seen anything on them. I mean, sure. I mean, everybody kind of had to figure that Vallejo was going to put out a product similar to it or do something similar to it. It might not even been Vallejo's intent to make a product like it because, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't really necessary. I mean, like, it's not like contrast paint. Like, what contrast paint does is brand new. The techniques have been used for years. And Games Workshop has been selling products similar to contrast paints for years. The shade washes. They're essentially contrast paints, just different pigments, right? So, it's not brand new. And Vallejo getting in on the game, yeah, I mean, they want to make money too, right? So, that's fine. Just the top of that bit right there. Alrighty. Have we gotten all the... Well, just a hammer. Are we doing much on the hammer? Yeah, I guess we're doing some on the hammer. Yeah, I guess. If it'll end horror. I am going to do a little bit on this ring. Just on the bottom part here. Maybe just a little bit on the top. Like so. Do a little bit on the inside. On top. Let's see if we can't catch this bottom part of the hammer. Catch this rune, essentially. What we're looking to do. Yeah. And yeah, we'll catch this bottom part here. Catch the rune. Like that. We'll do a little edge highlight up on the top here. Catch both these edges. Make them nice and sparkly. Sparkle, sparkle. Sparkle, sparkle. Just like that. Okay. I think we'll do that here too. Do. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. And do the end cap. Just like so. Just do the top part right there. There. Okay, that's it for the hammer. Now for the big canisters on his back. We'll do those end caps, and then we'll just do a very light edge. Bum 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 bum. Okay. It's kind of tempting to do like a little radioactive symbol on the caps. Like these are like little nuclear generator kind of things. It's kind of tempting. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm just saying it's tempting. I might do it. I might do it. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't even gotten to the icons yet. Oh, shit. There we go. I actually like how it looks kind of different from like you see like the end caps to like the main body, how like you have these different intensities. I actually kind of like that. Even though it's all the same. Like when you look at it from a distance, well, even when you look at it from a distance, they are kind of different. Oh. Alright, just a minor edge highlight on the canisters. Just minor. So we're just going to do just this one here. Just like that. things here. Catch just this end here. All right. Yeah, you know what? I am okay with that. I'm okay with it. You can see all the metal bits, value changes. Yeah. I am mostly okay with that. Is it ready? No. Ready for what? The tabletop? No. Not even done. So I still have to put in his league marking on the side here. The black of his hammer. Got to do the handle. Got to do the strap. The little light doodads. I got to clean up some of the orange spots where color went into other areas. I was also thinking about doing some armor chipping just on edges and stuff, especially on his power fist and like his fighting face arms and then maybe his knee pad and his toes and stuff. Just do kind of that impression of chipped armor, not full on chipped armor, but like, you know, like dented edges and stuff. Also, I think I'm gonna paint these little doodads here like gemstone. I also got the little vent in the back. I gotta pick out right above his head there. There's a little vent. The hair, I think the hair I'm going to do in a gray white. Yeah. All right, we didn't do the gun. The metal on the gun, shit. Oh, and the casing too. I got to do the gray on the casing as well. Because I'm going to do a dark gray. And the gray is not going to push towards a blue, although typically I do like to highlight black in a turquoise. So yeah, I don't go that far. Kris, I know this is a repeat question, but if this paint job is tabletop, how about the rest of your guys? The rest of the guys are like, they're based orange. The way I described in the beginning of the stream how I painted the orange. You can see it's primarily done by airbrush. It's just 2 colors of orange, and it was on top of Citadel White spray, and then contrast Magmadroth flame in the airbrush as the base, and then I added Fire Dragon Bright to that mixture and sprayed it straight down. So you can see how like it's a lot brighter at the very top, and that's closer to this color as opposed to the underside, which is very dark, which is the Magmadroth flame. And then it was a dry brush of Kindle Flame, just to pick out those edges, and you could see. But for this orange, you can see how like they're not the same orange, right? Even though before I had done the next step, they were the same. They had a very similar look. Like this guy looked like this level of orange when I started. And that's because I used a thinned out layer of Fugan Orange Shade Wash, the new one. I thinned it out. Did I use water? I think I just used water. Or maybe it was medium. I think I used maybe Lamian medium. One of the two. Thinned it out quite a bit, like a 1-to-1 mix ratio, and applied it over the entirety of the armor. And that married all that dry brushing and everything like that, and pulled all the color down, and then allowed it to fall a little bit more deliberately into recesses and stuff, just give me a little bit more shadows. I actually like this level of orange. It is really, really bright. It looks really intense on camera. It's actually in person, it's not quite as intense. But yeah, like especially with all these black and metal bits on the armor, with that just a subtle hint of blue in there, It plays very, very nicely with that orange. It actually just makes, I think that's what it is. It makes the orange appear a lot brighter. I think that's why it looks so intense. But yeah. I meant, how will you ever get them done? Oh, well, because characters spend a little bit more time. This is just tabletop, dude. Like, this didn't take long to get this far. It's a lot of my problem is just time, and just getting the time to sit down and get this shit done. You know what? In fact, I'm going to do the gray right now for that hair because it's distracting me. I'm going to use Celestra Gray as the base for it. Oh. But yeah, the common soldiers though, they're just going to be gray with a shade wash. The boots, probably just going to be a contrast. Pick up the guns with the metals. The face metal is probably going to be gold, although I am kind of liking how the blue metal is looking on, like, in combination. So I actually might do that for their face plates, is this blue silver. I actually might go with that. Kim. That was the main point of the new express paints from Vallejo. They don't need a medium. They can be thinned out with just water without losing the contrast ability. With adding water will break the surface tension of any product. I don't know what could they possibly be mixing with the paint that it would just simply adding water to it would not reduce its surface tension. What could you add to paint that water will not reduce its surface tension? Like, what could it possibly be made of? Grab a little bit of Celestra Gray. Like, I have no idea what is anything about these express paints. I hear the comparison of contrast paints, and it is always funny to me how companies, this happens all over the place, not just painting. You know, somebody has something that is commercially successful, and then you have all of the copycatters come out. And of course you always have the haters who will say, well, it sucks. Well, if it sucks so much, why are other companies trying to imitate what it's doing? And as I said before, like, the Citadel contrast is not new. That formula has already existed. So I don't know what people are on about. Like, I don't really see what the difference is. Again, I mean, like, the paint doesn't fucking matter. It's what you do with it. For white objects, I always like to use a light gray. Celestra Gray is my go-to for a base coat. Mainly because it's a base paint, and it goes on, like, really nicely. And, yeah. It's my go-to. Need a little bit more. Where the hell am I? I don't know. Kim, the main point for me, don't know, but he does it in the video. I don't know how they've done it. Nanites, maybe witchcraft. Yeah, it might be nanites or witchcraft. Both are possible. Both are possible. The Space Marine. The Space Marine. Contrast paints are great. The only bad one is Apothecary White because it ended up being very gray. There are no good white paints. They don't exist. There are no good white paints. They don't exist. Well, Apothecary White, yeah, it's kind of a misnomer for that one because, yeah, you're right. It's not a white. It's a gray. Because the system that was created for is when you lay... Like if you're painting something that's going to be white in the typical fashion in which Games Workshop demonstrates painting white, is you use a light gray as your base, and then you edge in white, and that gives the impression of being white, right? So you're supposed to, with the Apothecary Gray, you're supposed to use Gray Sear, the spray paint, right, or the spray primer, which is an off gray, which is like here's Gray Sear. It's not white. Right? It's a gray. Like, see, here's Celestra Gray next to it. Like, it's not that far off from it. As opposed to white. Do I have white? No, I don't have any freaking white. But here's Pallid Witch Flesh, which is really, really... It's a warm white. And you can see Pallid Witch Flesh is brighter than it, right? But anyway, you're supposed to use Apothecary White on top of this. And then you use a white. You can even use, like, Citadel Dry, right? Like, take a dry paint. What is it? Praxetti White for Citadel Dry. Use that, and you dry brush that, and it makes it look like it's white because it's got very, very light gray values in it, and that gives the impression of white. And so whenever you see like white scars and stuff like that, that's how they start. So if you want to paint white, and you're priming in anything other than white or very, very light gray, then you're going to end up laying a whole bunch of paint down on a model surface. And that's no fun. That's just going to take you forever, and you're just going to hate painting. You're just going to hate it. And it's not going to look the way you want because either you've laid too much paint down or it looks too dark gray or whatever. Again, what does Kris always say about color? And you want it bright. If you want it bright, you prime it white, right? That's what Kris always says. That's the rule. You want it bright, you prime it white. The Space Marine. My problem is that I can never get them thinned enough. They always leave a texture on the model. The contrast paint? Leaving a texture? Really, really thinned out contrast paint, it should just flow like an ink. If you're getting a texture, that is either your primer, your base layer, or you're overworking the paint back and forth and it's drying and you're creating these little tide marks and the paint, you know what I mean? Like contrast paint, just like when you're playing with like Citadel shade washes and stuff, slap it down, one go, maybe move, correct, draw excess off, whatever it is, but then you leave it alone. Contrast paints are the same way. You hit it once, right? You hit it and quit it. As the expression goes, you hit it and quit it. That's it. I don't know if Games Workshop is going to adopt that slogan for shade washes or contrast paints, but hit it and quit it. Fire Drake. I think Citadel needs a new white paint formula. I don't think so. For white paint, see, like, I don't consider the contrast paint like a proper paint. They're regular paint colors, the layer and the base colors. I consider those paint. I consider contrast paints more like the shade washes, more like transparencies. They're closer to a transparency ink than they are a paint. But again, I mean, like, you know, it's just naming their products just so that it's easier to use. But I mean, it used to be Ceramite White, but it's got a new name now, isn't it? Because Ceramite White, this is my favorite white for painting, as far as miniatures are concerned. Yeah, because even thinned out, it only takes 2 coats for this to cover on top of black, and that's really good in my opinion. But that's the base paint. It's got to be base. But I think that it's not Ceramite White anymore. It's like another name. It's another Games Workshop name. I can't think of it. I can't think of what the name is anymore. But yeah, like all the base colors, like they work really, really well because they actually have a bit more color density to them, as opposed to layer paints. Layer paints, actually, it doesn't take much to make them almost a transparency when you're painting with them. You can over thin them with medium, and like they're, you know, there's like no pigment in the mixture. Sean Tree, thank you for the follow. I have tried it yet, but read that AK White is pretty good. Anyone here ever use it? Thoughts? Yeah, Kim has probably used it. AK. I've used the, not AK, MIG ammo. I've used MIG ammo. I mean, I've used Vallejo. I've used Scale 75. I've used Army Painter. Used a whole bunch. Honestly, white, golden. These colors are fantastic. The only thing is, though, is they finish with a bit of a gloss, but that's, for me, that's not a big deal. For some people, apparently a paint finishing with a matte is a problem, or gloss. A paint finishing with a gloss or satin or matte finish is a problem, apparently. I don't know why, but apparently it's a problem. It's not like you can't put a clear coat on top of it afterwards. Apparently you can't do that. Apparently. So I don't know why people are up in arms about the way a paint finishes, whether it finishes matte or gloss or satin. People lose their minds. Oh my god, it finishes that. And it's like, okay, what's the big fucking deal? You just, if you don't want it glossy, then you hit it with a matte. If you want it matte, you hit it with a glossy. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. Like, but people lose their minds about the way a paint finishes. Now, when you get a bit more into nuanced type of painting, it does make a difference. But for everybody else, for like 90% of people, it doesn't really matter. Fire Drake, just not contrast, but regular paint. The Space Marine. I'm doing a kill team of Reavers from the Mentors Legion, and I've primed them with Gray Seer, gone over them with Apothecary White, and then sponge dabbed Corax on top of it. Oh, that's cool. That sounds like a good way. Hopefully you're not using too much paint when you're sponging, because if there's a lot of paint in your sponge and you sponge a little too heavily, you'll end up with a texture on that surface. Oh, is that what you mean by that? You got a texture? It's the sponge that's doing it. Is that what you meant by it? Yeah, because it's the sponge. If you've got a lot of paint in the sponge and you're sponging that on the surface, that's what's going to leave behind the texture. Yes. Yes. The Space Marine, it's giving the impression of dirty white armor. Interesting. For dirty white armor, you can use the same recipe, but you can also take thinned out Agrax Earthshade or even Skeleton Horde thinned out and apply that over the armor, and it'll throw a slight brown hue over the armor, still keeping some of those grays, but it'll give you that slight kind of almost rusty like feeling for it. Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. It sounds cool. Kim, for me, all contrast style paints are just inks and shade abilities. I used almost all the whites. Golden Chimera, 3-gen, heavy body white inks are all pretty great. Space Marine, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Thanks. Yeah. That's why you're ending up with that texture, is because you're sponging. It's not the contrast paint that's causing you a problem. That's the technique you're using. And it's not really a problem. It's just, like, I've demonstrated before doing a Nurgle Marine where we didn't use any paintbrushes. Well, not any paintbrushes, but, like, barely used any paintbrushes to create the initial color. And it was all done with wet blending and sponges. And basically, we did an underpinning of rust colors, browns and oranges. And then we took the greens and we sponged it. But because we had done that so much with sponges, that by the time we got to the dry brushing phase to pick out the high points, that slight texture on the surface made it look almost like, you know, like you ever see like the old Shermans or Soviet tanks from World War II, how that green, the green of the armor has that slight texture to it. That's how it made the armor look. And I actually really dug it because in combination with the rusty elements where it fell into the recesses, it looked really, really cool. So yeah, again, it all depends upon what sort of end result you're looking for. What do you want to do? The paints are simply the tool to see your vision forward. They're not going to make the vision for you. They are so that you can see your vision. That's all paint does. And it doesn't matter what paint brand you use. It honestly does not matter. Use whatever. Because I've seen many times people using cheap dollar store paints to great effect. And I've seen people use really expensive paints and done shit with them. So, you tell me. It's not the paint. It's the painter. I gotta get rid of that boogie off my brush. It's bugging me. See it? See it on the camera? The little boogie on my brush? God dang it. God damn. Yeah, so when you're doing an army, I highly recommend spending a bit of time with your characters. I don't really recommend taking your time like this with every model. You can, but I don't recommend it. You'll never get your fucking army done. Especially if your goal is to paint the army. Of course, that's where, you know, using things like airbrushes and such to get the job done, perfectly acceptable. Perfectly. People say, oh, airbrushing is cheating. Nine. That's ridiculous. There's efficiency and non-efficiency. There's no such thing as cheating. Cheating at this, the concept of cheating is ridiculous. It doesn't exist. You know why cheating is, like, the concept of cheating at painting is ridiculous? Because it's assuming that we're all playing by a fixed set of rules. Right? The concept is that we're playing by a fixed set of rules. And somehow, by doing something, we're breaking those rules. Well, that's bullshit. We're not playing by a fixed set of rules. You don't paint the same way I paint. And I don't paint like the next person, right? So, again, how could one of us be cheating if we're all doing different things? Now, some of us might be more efficient than others, but that does not mean they're cheating. It just means they're more efficient. They utilize their tools a little bit more effectively. They got a little bit more experience, right? Many, many things. There's many, many differences. It's not one or the other. Fire Drake, pro tip. Use cheap paint so you have someone to blame. Every model gets 3 colors and I'm done. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, yeah, it all depends. I mean, this hobby does not have to be stressful. People seem to, like, want to add stress to this for some reason. Make this more complicated than it is. And that's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense to me. Leo Cortez, how can I show you my Space Marine for feedback? You can send me an email. In the description below is a link to Way of the Brush, Kris@wayofthebrush.com. If you're going to send a picture, send it as an attachment in the email. Don't send it off as links to other sites, because I won't do it. It's annoying. Oftentimes because it's ads and stuff like that on those other sites, right? Those image sites. Send the pictures as attachments in the email. Or you can post on Instagram and use the hashtag #WayOfTheBrush. And I'll see it there. I usually, oh, you know what? I never did that today. Whoops. Holy shit, what time is it? Holy crap. It's already 20 after 2. But yeah, you can use the hashtag #WayOfTheBrush on Instagram, and I'll see it there as well. But usually people, like on Instagram, I usually don't leave feedback on Instagram because people are just sharing their images, right? They're just sharing, and you know, oftentimes people aren't looking for feedback. So that's why I often request that you, if you're looking for feedback on your work, send me the email and I will give you feedback. Say in the email that you're looking for CNC, comments and criticism, and you know, that's basically it. And yeah. Usually I'm a little bit more diplomatic. I usually don't subscribe to, you know, being very brutal about people's work. I'm certainly not into making fun of people's work, anything like that. You know, being toxic or nasty or, you know, anything like that. And of course, you can also join us on Discord. We also have channels work in progress as well as completed minis, and on the Discord server. And lots of the monkeys post in there and share their work. And if you want to leave a comment, sure. If you don't, that's fine. Give it a thumbs up in the Discord and everything like that. Yeah, like tons of things. There's tons of ways to get feedback. The Discord's really great because I'll see it as well as all the other monkeys in the Discord. And, you know, if you're looking for feedback, say, hey, I'm looking for feedback. What do you guys think, right? And, yeah. Plenty of ways to share. Plenty of ways to share. Oh, and even on Facebook, I have a sharing is caring as well. Way of the Brush, sharing is caring on Facebook. But anyway, shit, I lost place. Where am I? The Space Marine. I don't copy your methods exactly, but I take pieces of what you do to tweak what I'm doing. There is no right way to paint anything. No, exactly, right? There's just levels of efficiency. That's really the big difference between, you know, the really I hate using the term, but top tier type of painting, right? The people who go to competitions and work towards display type standards, there's efficiencies there. Those kinds of painters, oftentimes you will not find them playing around with various brands of paint. Why? Because they've mastered their particular paints that they like to use to their particular brushes, to their particular techniques that they like. Now, acquiring the paints and all those things that they do does not mean you will paint like them. That's just simple fact. It's a simple fact. And you paint, like miniature painting is deeply personal experience. It's a deeply personal experience, and it's a journey for you and you alone to explore and find where you really lie as far as how you want to compare yourself amongst other painters. Now, I often will tell people, comparison is the thief of joy. Meaning, you're never going to be happy with your work if you continue to compare it to others. Comparing it against yourself, sure, right? Because, you know, you have a first model come up and you go, oh, okay, well, this is how I was painting. And then, you know, this is where I'm going, and then, you know, and a couple of years from now, you look at your latest work, it's a lot better. And as long as your goal is to constantly improve and study and practice and learn, you'll always get better. And there is no end result. There's no end to how far you can progress as a miniature painter. There's no cap. There's no ceiling, right? Even top tier painters like Richard Gray, for example, He's one of the most renowned painters in this community. And I'm sure he'll tell you that he's not done learning. He's always learning. And he's always pushing himself to go further and further and further. I'm sure. As an example, there's many other examples of painters like that, right? So you just keep going. You just keep painting. Just keep painting. Practice, practice, practice. Phantom Ronin. I've seen those 50-cent apple barrel paints look pretty darn good, even with a bit of graininess in them. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, all you gotta do is buy an acrylic, a water-based paint medium, and you can mix that into that paint, thin it down, and that paint will become a lot smoother. You know, it cost you all of $10 to buy a whole paint set. And there's even plenty of other paint lines that aren't designed for, you know, miniature paints, and they work really well. Like I said, like golden paints. These aren't intended for miniature painting, but I use them all the time for miniatures. They're designed for airbrush, paintbrush, pen, and marker. That's what these paints were designed for. So all sorts of mixed media, what these paints are for. And they work great. I did a tutorial, well, not tutorial, but series, a miniature series, painting Jane Czar. I painted Jane Czar, the newer sculpt of Jane Czar. I pretty much used, I think, golden paints the entire way through that paint job. Kim Leo Cortez sent an email. Dark Commission. Well, looking at the 30 to 40,000 year old handprints on a cave wall made by blowing paint, I'd say that airbrushing predates brushes. Yeah, possibly, right? Possibly. Simply mini painting. I do have to disagree about the wrong or right way. There is a wrong and right way, but I feel that that is on the technical side of stuff. Sure. A right way? Sure. Like, for example, I would consider, okay, drawing paint, okay? You can open up your paint pot, take your brush, and dunk it right into the paint pot. I would say that's the wrong way to do it, but that's not entirely correct, is it? Because you can do it, right? I always recommend drawing your paint from the little lip here. Draw it, close it, put it on your palette. Bang. But that's more of an efficiency thing. Because you can do it. And, I mean, all it's going to do is shorten the lifespan of your brushes. Because why I don't recommend people dunk into the paint pot is because the paint's going to get up into the furrow. The furrow's going to get loaded with paint. The hairs are going to splay all over the place, and you've ruined your brush. You can correct it, but it's work, right? It's better just to do it right the first time rather than correcting a brush. I'd rather do it right the first time. It's kind of like photography. I always often make these comparisons back to photography, but it's like photography. Get it right in the camera, and you don't have to do shit afterwards. Take care of your tools. They take care of you. Simply mean paint. I also do believe there is a cap, but that cap is you. You are the cap. If you're unwilling to grow and learn, you have hit your cap. Yeah, but that's not a cap, because then what if you change your mind a year later and say, you know what, I'm going to take up painting again? Then you didn't hit your cap. You just took a break. Right? The only time you hit your cap is when you're dead. That's the only time you hit your cap, right? Like Leonardo da Vinci, master painter, hit his cap 500 years ago. Hit his cap. Why? Because he fucking died. So, yes, I mean, like, there are right and wrong ways to do things, but for the most part, they are very small, very, very niche. And I mean, if you are learning the right way to do things from the beginning, then you're just off to a really great start, rather than not paying attention to anybody and just doing it, and not taking any input from anybody and just doing it. No, I don't want to hear what you're doing. Well, I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to figure it out myself. Okay, that's fine. But you're going to struggle and learn, right? When you really didn't have to. And through that process of learning, if you don't have the sensibility to move past your failures, you're going to get frustrated and probably leave this hobby, rather than take the assistance that somebody was offering, right? There's many ways it can go. It all depends on the person. Again, it's not one set of rules for everybody. It's a spectrum. It's always a spectrum. And that's pretty much everything in life. Everything's a spectrum. Leo, I sent him an email. I'm going to join when I can so I can show everyone else. I really just want them to see and get feedback. Yeah, you know what? Let's do an email. All right, folks. If you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down because here it comes. I don't know why I keep looking at that light. I got a light pointed right at me and I keep looking at it like a fucking idiot. Let's do this one. It's email time. Is it done? No, it's done. Okay, now it's done, apparently. Alright, this one's from our good buddy Dark Commission. Hi, Mighty One. This offering is a bit of an oddity. It is a Aztec Jaguar Warrior by La Meridia Miniatures. It has been an on-off project for around 3 years. Although it is a great sculpt, it is not a very good casting and a lot of work was needed to get it to a paintable state. I was headed for the bin on a number of occasions, but I persevered. Different parts were painted at different times over a 3-year period, so quality is sketchy. Any and all parts can be liberally critiqued, but the overall finished article looks great at the back of the shelf. LOL. Anyway, to coin a phrase, it is what it is, and I'm just glad it's done and out of the way. Hope you and the monkeys enjoy it. Cheers, John, aka Dark Commission, aka John. Over here, John. Anyway, it's a Jaguar, painted at various stages. I think I would have went with more colored colors in the feathers. Yeah, that's just me. Now, a lot of Native American color palettes and such, lots of bright colors. Aztecs, tons of bright colors. Everything black, white, everything in between. And so when playing around with Native American motifs and such, feel free to use lots of bold colors. Bold colors for bold people. The helmet almost, or his headpiece almost looks like the helmet from Battlestar Galactica, the original Battlestar Galactica. I like that you freehanded the little symbols on his neck piece. I think the eyes on the Jaguar, you could have went with something a little bit more natural. You know what I mean? Like, make it feel more like it was like a pelt. So it has more, natural gem-like eyes going on. The work on the flesh though is fantastic. Yeah, see how you painted his eyes? I would have done that for the Jaguar. Would have painted its eyes like that. Unless, of course, it's supposed to be like a helmet or something. I'm not sure why it'd be a helmet. As they very likely would have just worn the helmet, or the Jaguar's head. I thought those little symbols on the necklace piece, the neck piece, I thought you freehanded those, but those are sculpted on, aren't they? It's a very low relief. I also really like the jade of the necklace. Yeah, I really dig it. I think the face obviously is the draw, the flesh. I think the eyes definitely could have been rendered a bit more, realistically, because like that headpiece traditionally would have been a real Jaguar. So, yeah. But I mean, I can't say for certain because, well, I ain't Aztec, so, I'm not steeped in the culture, as it were. But yeah. Um, Star Sky Studio. I've made more mistakes on the army building side of things. Okay. Rumen Matnoff. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. And hey, everyone. Hey, Rumen. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just accidents, man. It's just accidents. All right, this one is from Leo Cortez. I don't know, Leo, I don't know how long you've been around, but I don't think I've ever really read your name before, so welcome, and thank you for the email. And so here, oh, screen captured off your phone while you're watching along. Gotcha. Okay, so, what was the issue, Leo? Were we talking about the white paint and how you weren't liking it, or was that somebody else? Now, if you're looking for just straight up feedback, it's an interesting color scheme. I think you're running the risk of a lot of colors going on. If I was going to suggest anything, I think the shoulder pads should be white or that greenish color. I can't tell. It looks a bit like the either Incubi Darkness, or it's that one for the Sons of Horus. Either way, I would use that in the shoulder pad, either the white or that greenish color. The helmet, again, white or the greenish color. I find that Space Marines, if you have too many colors at play, then it just feels a bit, hodgepodge, right? Now, the legs, that paint does look pretty heavy on those legs. Now, is that because you've primed the model dark and then tried to build up the white, and that's why you're not entirely... Oops. It's kind of all over the place here. Here we go. Is that why you're not entirely happy with it? Yeah, because oftentimes if you've over primed or over base coat, you end up kind of softening details, and you run that risk of, things kind of looking kind of messy. But I'm not sure. Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I'm catching up on the comments here. Yeah, the bottom need to be cleaned up. Just let me know what I could do. I counted 23 colors. Yeah, that's a lot of colors, and for miniatures, I mean, like, it can look really cool and all, but it can look very muddled. Like, for example, I'm sure I've done it a few times, having too many colors. Oh, okay, here we go. This one here, I'm starting to run the risk. Well, not really, but kind of, but it might illustrate what I'm talking about here. I'm running the risk of putting too many colors down on this guy. And I pushed the contrast a little too far, I think, on him. And in person, in the dark points, in the pink, it's a purple. And you in person, you can see it. Yeah, even on the back of the tail. And I haven't come back to this guy because I wasn't entirely happy with where he was going. And I'm considering stripping him and redoing him in a similar fashion, but not quite as hodgepodge as that. Again, color schemes, even the 3-color rule, like this guy here, okay, he's predominantly one color with 2 other accent colors, right? He's predominantly orange. The next one being the silver is the next one that jumps out at you with black, right? And that's essentially the 3 colors going on. So with Space Marines, they often work better when they're predominantly a single color. And that's why oftentimes you'll see Space Marines done where they're, like, say for example, he's green, but his shoulder trim will be a brighter color. His eagle on his chest is a brighter color. His gun will be a different color. and the metals and such being a unifier, right? And then, of course, you can always go with neutral colors, like, for example, the holster, that's often a light brown, right? Or the gun casing will be a dark gray with a black, or, you know, the silver will often be a neutral color, and, you know, you have all these variations on these ideas of too many colors. Like, for example, here's another example. My my little dwarf for Necromunda. See, here I'm running the risk of putting too many colors down, because I'm trying to think of what I want to do for the hammer. Right? What am I going to do for that hammer? What color would you go? Just straight up metals? Okay, well then if we go with straight up metals on the hammer, then what does that coin on his belt buckle, right? His doodads, right? Because he even has a big backpack as well. So, like, you know, because his helmet, here's his little helmet here, right? His little helmet's yellow, right? Anyway, and again, you kind of want if you are going to have a whole bunch of colors laid out on a model, you want kind of like, if you're going to go with 3 colors, you kind of want one to be the dominant color, with the second color being obviously your secondary, and then other elements being that tertiary color. Or you can even forego that, and I mean, like, because once you start getting into 4 colors, it starts to look really kind of messy. No, I'm not going to show him because he's more work in progress. He's not a completed piece yet. Hold on, I'm looking for an example of too many colors. I know I have models that are painted like way too many colors. I can't think of any. I can't find any. A lot of my older paint jobs would be a good example. I'm trying to find one. I guess this fella here. He's an example of it. This guy's broke, but this here. Oh shit! I don't have that camera turned on. Hold on. So this guy here is an old Flash Gits I painted back in the 90s. Now Flash Gits are supposed to be pirates, and they're supposed to be a riot of colors anyway, but yeah, like, this was way back in the day, and look at how many colors are going on. Like, look at all these different colors. Look at pinks, yellows, oranges, warms, cools, you know, various things going on. It's just a mess. It's a riot of color. Now, the character, it kind of makes sense that it's in this fashion, but a Space Marine painted in this fashion, you know, is going to unfortunately draw some eyeballs and some criticism, some unwanted criticism, right? You know, versus like going for really simple color schemes, which is where, you know, like getting into more monochromatic type of ideas and having accent colors. See, this color scheme here is predominantly a turquoise, which is a blue-green. The gun is a blue-green. His armor is a metallic blue-green. The scale cloak on his back is a blue-green. But I've used the lighter tones, the neutral tones, with a slight bit of yellow cast, which fits with the green part, because green has yellow in it, with the slight orange to offset. And so you got slight oranges going on. And the gemstones. You can see, right? That's the idea. This would almost be a monochromatic if I hadn't thrown those orange elements in, those orangish red elements. This would almost been monochromatic. Just to give you a bit of an idea. So when painting miniatures, you want to try and keep your color scheme, the amount of colors you're using to a minimum. Okay, for example, like these guys here, these Leagues of Votann, predominantly orange, but a very dark neutral gray is going to be used, as well as dark browns. And that's going to offset that really bright, rich orange. And and it's good, and that's why I chose this color scheme, because it has such a nice level of contrast, as opposed to the Thurian League, which is this green, blue with a white or gray, right? Or the black and yellow. The black and yellow one was all right, but it was a lot of black, so that one really is a dominant black with a accenting yellow, right? Again, it's so as far as your miniature is concerned, I think all you have to do to correct it, if you feel like it needs correcting, is with those the inside part of the shoulder pads, right? Like the primary part of the shoulder pad, either be white, like you did with the lower half of the legs, or be green like the rest of the armor you've done. And same thing with the helmet. The helmet can be white or it can be green, right? You can leave that gold trim. That's fine, because gold is found elsewhere on the model, and it helps keep all that feeling cohesive, right? And in fact, having the arms and like the thighs, feet, like the color scheme itself, like if we're really gonna like delve into the color scheme, having his knees to his feet being white, his elbow to his hands should be white, his helmet could be white, and everything else is green. So his shoulder pads are green, even with green with white trim. White eagle. Well, you got a white eagle on his chest, so yeah. So basically his core is green, and he's this white bone color on the extremities. So he's white on his helmet, he's white from his elbow to his fists, he's white from his knee to his feet. Right? And everything else is green or a combination of that. That would be an interesting color scheme, and that way you're just busting it down to 2 colors, and with metal being a neutral color, for the bolt gun and the chainsword and the details and tubes and what have you. And that way you can use a really fun color for his eyes. You can use like a bright yellow, orange, red, even a bright blue, whatever you want to do for those eyeballs. So thank you, Leo, for the email. Hopefully that kind of helps. Hopefully it gives you a bit of direction. Hopefully that works for you. Let me know. Oh, there's a whole bunch of comments here. Leo, dude, thank you so much. You're really inspiring to do better. Well, thank you. I do the same thing, LOL, for everything. Dark Commission, Harlequins probably being the exception to the rule. Right. But even all Harlequins aren't painted all a riot of color, right? Because like Chaos, Slaanesh Noise Marines, typically they're depicted as being a riot of colors, right? Harlequins are a good example of riot of color. Do I have Harlequins? My Harlequin is not a riot of color. I've only got the Solitaire painted. Yeah. I painted this one ages ago. He's dusty. So forgive the dust, but he's dusty. But yeah, I painted this guy ages ago. You can see he's very dusty. But yeah. Ages. This one here is like, what? It's just red and black, essentially. The white really stands out, right? The face, the hands, the little belt, right? I could have used white in the checkers, but I didn't really want the checkers to be to draw the eye that much, because I really was kind of like liking the idea that he had the his hollow field is scattering his image, and so it was just dark and red, right? I didn't use white for his collar, because I didn't want that to distract, and so I actually made the inside of his coat that lighter red color, and so that's all that is just his collar is just a light red. So same with his cuffs as well, and then just a little spot of gold, but it's not too intense, and it's kind of a bit of a non-metallic metal gold done on his Harlequin's Kiss with a dark tube. Again, dark tube is just gray. Again, didn't really want to draw away from the rest of the figure, but yeah, right. Not too many colors. This one essentially you could say is red, black, and white is the color scheme, with little gold accents here and there to break things up. Goldish colors. But yeah. Anyway. I'm still trying to think of a color scheme that was just too many damn colors. You know what? Honestly, this one here is probably the closest example I can think of. It's Marathi I did a while back. And I've got actually quite a bit of colors going on. I painted this Marathi like a while ago. And you can see like how I have these purples, these turquoises with the red and the flesh, right, with gold, and it's gold metallics. And you can see how, like, you know, the turquoise and the metal, the blade. I think I used a chrome for the spear tip, and all the gold, right? But I think it's the purple. The purple pulls away. I think the purple on her wings and such was a little too vibrant a purple, and I should have probably went darker, desaturated purple, kind of like on her bicep of the wing. You see how there's that slight transition there? I should have probably used that color, just a little darker, and picked out the fingers of the wings, right? Yeah. It's probably what I should have did, but I didn't. I was gonna, but I didn't. But anyway, yeah. Because I used that color in the shadows of her flesh. You see there. It was the shade color I used. Because I wanted that purple in there. Because I wanted her to have this kind of, you know, weird kind of alien type of vibe to her, right? Because obviously she's a giant Medusa monster. So, you know, she's not exactly human. Or even elf for that matter. You know? So, yeah. Anyway. Just talking about my mistakes. But that's the thing, though. Like, you can't be afraid to make mistakes in this hobby. You can't be afraid. You have to enjoy and love your mistakes, because that's how you're going to learn. You're not going to learn thinking, oh, every time I do it, I did it right. How can I improve it? Could I have been more efficient in some way, right? That's how you're going to learn, and you're going to get better. As you keep painting, you just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Right? All right, I think we're done for now. God damn, it's almost 3 o'clock. Jeez Louise. Oops, there we go. Got rid of myself there. Where'd I go? Here I am. Bye. Hello. Everybody's like, what the fuck is he doing? I don't know. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I am planning on doing more live streams this week, just because I want to continue working on the Leagues of Votann. So I think in combination of, you know, videos and getting work done, because I do want to play some games with these guys. I don't know if I'll film the games, but I definitely want to play some games with these guys, because I'm most likely going to buy more. I'm going to buy more of these little fellers. I like the book. Games Workshop was kind enough to send me the army set, which came with the codex, the data cards, the tokens, and all the models for starting off this army. And yeah, I want to keep going. Everybody else out there will have an opportunity to get their hands on this box and begin. And it looks like just now it is only the army set that's going to be available. So they don't have like the, you know, the Berserks or the Sagittars or the Hecaton Land Fortress. I freaking want that. I want a Hecaton Land Fortress. I do. I will acquire one. Even if I have to sell a kidney, I'll acquire one. Somehow. But anyway, yeah. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you need help with the color scheme, maybe you just want to show off what you're working on. Maybe a commission painting service, and you know, you want to get more eyeballs on your work. Whatever reasons, it doesn't matter to me. Send your emails to Kris@wayofthebrush.com, or use the hashtag #WayofTheBrush on Instagram. And yeah, huge thank you to everybody who does that. And so yeah, it's in the description below, as well as a link to wayofthebrush.com, central hub of all this silliness. Has the links to all the social medias, as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling there. And so feel free. There's only one rule in the Discord. Don't be a dick. That's it. That's the only rule. Don't be a dick. Also, at wayofthebrush.com is links for shirts. Want to get yourself a shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world? They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. And of course, you'll find a link for Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons for their continued support and all you brand new ones as well. A huge, huge thank you to all of you for, allowing me to continue to do what it is that I do. And so, again, thank you. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, commenting, ringing the bell, blah, 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 blah. All that helps the channel as well. And of course, on the various social media platforms that I'm on the YouTubes, the Twitch, the TikTok, Instagrams, Facebooks. I'm all over the place. My mug is all over the place anyway. I'm kind of sick of looking at my mug, actually, to be honest. I'm sure you are as well, but I'm really sick of it. So a huge thank you to everybody who clicks buttons and likes the thumbs and all that. Yeah, so huge thank you to everybody. Huge. Big thank you to Carl Guymere for Beer and Blood Bowl. It's his YouTube channel. Check it out. If you love yourself some beer, you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles to play before the email segment of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays at the begin and end of the show. And so always much love to my baby brother. And if you're into rare comics, EB Comics, it's in the description below. Rare, we're talking rare comics now. Or if you're into beefcakes, you can check them out on Instagram. Same last name, first name's Evan. Not that I'm like pimping the guy out or anything like that. It's just, he's beefy. He's been working out. Like, he's bigger than me. Like, not to say that I'm a big guy, but he's bigger than me. And he's I don't know what he's training for. I don't know what that brother's training for, but he's got all the muscles. He won all the muscles. He's got them. He even took some of mine. I got Mr. Burn Arm nowadays. And yeah, he's got all the muscles. Oh man. Any last things here? Starsky Studios toothpaste and baking soda is a good paint remover. I've never tried it. I usually go with either iso alcohol, 70 or 90, Simple Green, which is basically, Simple Green is just green soap, medical. If you ever go like that, if you have access to like medical soap and stuff like that, yeah, just green soap is the same as Simple Green. Anyway, I didn't realize that until because I realized I had a bottle of green soap, and it's identical to Simple Green. Yeah, it's just medical grade cleanser. Anyway, Alex, you can tell the family's back because everybody's stamping around, walking around. Anyway, Dark Commission, thanks for the CNC, Kris. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for the email. And send more, please. Send more. And it goes for everybody. Send more. Simply Mini Painting. I'm sick of it. It gets me through the night. Woof. What? Huh? Whoa. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Well, I might stream elsewhere. Or like tomorrow. Shit, I might even come back later today. I'm feeling wacky these days. And I'm really excited about these Leagues of Votann. I just want to get them done because I want to play games. I'm a painter and a gamer. So, yeah. I want to get them done because I want to play with my toys. Before more stuff comes out and I feel compelled to get that stuff done. Yeah, so that's why I really want to get them done. Is because I know more stuff will be coming and I want to get this stuff done so that, I can learn along with everybody else. Because everybody's going to learn this army together. That's the fun part when you get these new books and these new factions come into the game. Everybody's on the same page, right? Whereas sometimes you feel like, oh, I don't know what to do. And everybody's, been playing since whatever edition, and I say, oh, I don't know, you know what I mean? So I want to get in while the getting's good. That didn't sound right. Sound a little creepy actually, but